Okay, so to add a new user to the website, you come to Users, Add New. Like I said, the username is something you personally set up for them, so keep it simple, I would say. And you need to know their email. From there, make sure that this checkbox is included here and it says send the new user an email about their account. Also very critical is what is their role? And we have these options. Subscriber means virtually nothing. They can subscribe to your, if you have a subscription-based area, nothing there. Highest level is administrator. Like I said, that person can change anything and everything. So when you're working on these projects, this one project that I'm going to give you, all three of you have to be administrators. You have to have rights to everything. But in real life, if you're building something for a client, until you hand it over to them, they probably don't have those rights. Until you give it to them and say, here's your website and here's the book on how to use it, you're in charge now. That's what you do. Contributor can write a post, but they can't approve it, publish it, change it, edit it. It would come to you or the person higher up on the totem pole to be approved and published. An author can write and publish their own content, but that's all they can do. They can't touch anybody else's. Editor can write, publish their own, and they can moderate and approve other people's posts. And then the administrator can do everything. Does that make sense, the different roles? So if I want Nick to be able to write some articles, but I get to see him first, I make him a contributor, and then I say add new user. Now, here it is. It's pending right now. He will get an email, and when he does, it'll say, hey, you've been invited to be a contributor or an author on this site. Do you want to set up a password? He'll do that. I don't ever know that password. Okay? I can always wipe him out. If he's making me mad, I can just wipe him out, right? But I don't know his password. So after Nick starts posting, the numbers here will change. He now has access to the site as well. And if you're all three on it at the same time, you know, it's live. It's whoever hits enter or send or publish last has the most recent update, right? Like if you pick a theme and you pick a theme and you're both battling it out, it's whoever got there last. Don't do that. You could crash the whole shebang. But this is what I'm going to want you to do with when I set you up in these teams. One person only on your team will go through the fun steps of making a database, making a folder, putting WordPress on it, getting WordPress installed. Then they'll go in here and they'll set up the other two people as contributors also, administrators. Okay? All right, let's do one more thing here. Let's go to visit the site. This is one of the many ways to get to this next view. So this is the live site that we're seeing. And if you guys remember on the page where we gave it a class, or we gave it a title and then we gave it a tagline, that's where these two things came from. What if we want to tweak this now? We want to customize it. Up at the top left, there is the Customize button, one of many places you can find it. When you click on the Customize button, you get into this new grouping called You Are Now Customizing. So our active theme is 2017. We could change it right here and now. All the things that we can customize in this particular theme are listed right here. Some themes you might have a bigger list, other themes you'll have a shorter list. Also, when you actually look at it, you see little pencils. And if that, obviously, if I click on it to edit this element, is going to be this photo. So I can click on it, and now it says, okay, just so you know, I found out what you wanted to do. It went to the right section here, header media, for you, but you didn't have to know that. You just clicked on the pencil. So if you have a video, the image will be used as a fallback while the video loads. So if I had a video of this same scene, but it's panning around the room, while the video is loading, the still shot could show. But you can have a video in your header as well. So you can select it or type in the YouTube. This could be interesting. Holy moly. I just typed in that YouTube URL that I had before. No, thank you. Then, header image. The nice thing about WordPress is that you know, the directions are all here. It's open source. Nobody's trying to screw you over or make you buy the latest package. Everything is new and open to everybody, and when updates are made, they share them freely. So they tell you what's going on. The current header is right here. You can hide it or add a new image. And then if you have a bunch, you can also click on this randomize headers, which is nice. So it can be a different picture each time your site loads. So suggested image dimensions, 2000 by 1200. Well, that's helpful because at least then I know what pictures aren't going to work. And if I'm making one specific for this use, I know to make it these dimensions for sure. Tiger is not going to work. I'm looking over here at the right to see what we have. 1600 by 1200, not so good. 14 by 12. Do I have any that are remotely good enough? 18 by 13. That's probably the closest one, so I'll just try that. The size is not the same physical dimensions as my photo, so it shows me where I can move my crop bars, and I'm just going to fix that a little bit and say crop the image. And now I have a new background, and some of you did this on your test already, so I know you've seen this. From here, you can publish it, or if you don't like what you did, you can just back out and close out of the customizer and nothing will happen. But if you're happy with it, you can hit publish before you continue to move on. So I'm going to keep scrolling. Here's my menu bar. But remember, I want to show you this in a different place first, and then we'll come back. Actually, let's go to that right now. Close out your customizer with the X. Go back to the back end, the dashboard side, and go to Appearance and then Menus. So a lot of these themes, you have to make the menu for it to show up, your navigation menu. Some of them assume that anything that's a page should be in your top menu, and it adds them automatically. So you need to try to figure this out. Okay, so Hello World was the default post that comes with every WordPress thing, and we deleted it, so it's showing up here, but it's deleted. So if we click on the down arrow, we can just tell it to remove, so we don't have that pink thing anymore. So all of the things that you've made, the most recent show up here, view all shows up here, or if you want to search, you could type in, I know I made a page called cat. You could start typing CAT. So if you check on these items or your posts, this is how you can add them. So in my posts, I have these two posts right here, and I can say add to the menu. They're going to add as main level menu items. That's not where I want them. They're actually part of my news. You would never do this, by the way. If you have 30 blog posts, you're not going to have a 30 drop down from your news page. You're not going to do that. You're just going to go to the news page. But I want to show you how you can add things to the menu and position them where you want them. Custom links. Let's say you want to link to a weather page. So we go out and we do weather.com and we do show me 53015 Cleveland. And this is what I want the link to go to every time. There's also, by the way, there's plugins and widgets for weather. This is not how you would do it, probably. But if I wanted to add a link to that weather page, I can type in my custom link, and then what is the text going to say? Today, or weather, I'll just say weather. And then say add to the menu, and that can just be another main menu item in my tab. Remember when you're done working with your menu to save it. Also remember that you can have mini menus. This one is called our main menu. And it is saying, where's it going to display? We want it at the top. If we had this automatically add new top level pages to this menu, every time we made a new page, it would assume it should go in our menu and it would add to the menu structure. That can be a good thing and it can be bad. So you can decide if you want that on or off. And then save the menu. Okay. Let's go back to view our live site and see if our weather, I now have a weather tab right here. And if I click on it, hopefully. Yep, it takes me to where I expected to go, so that worked. All right, click again in your live view, click on the customizer, and let's keep scrolling down and see where else we might have those blue pencils, and there's really not that many of them. So now what you might want to do is roll through each one of these line by line. So under site identity, this is where we have the title right here and our tagline. If you wanted to put a logo in here, this is where you could find it. Now how it's going to behave depends on the theme and a bunch of other variables. It's not always as clean as you would like. What if you don't want this? What if the picture you're putting behind here has your logo and your company name and your tagline? You don't want it. You turn that off right there, it goes away. Okay? A site icon is that favicon that we talked about that shows up. It's these little icons up here in the browser tabs. So it's usually a tiny version of your logo, and they're telling you that it should be at least 512 by 512 pixels, and then if it's uploaded in your media file, you can select it, and that'll add your favicon as well. Go back and go to colors. This theme has 3 different schemes: light, dark, well, or custom, I guess that's more. So you can change. Notice what I'm changing right now as I'm sliding this around. It's the word home that's changing. Dark is changing the whole bar to be dark. Light is changing it to be white. The header text color we can change. We don't like white, we want it to be yellow, we can change it there. You back out of it and look at the next items. Header media we've already looked at. Menus, we already have a main menu. What if we wanted to have a different menu at the bottom in our footer that was things like privacy policy, contact us, your social media links? You can make another menu and tell that where to appear. So you can create new menus as well and tell what locations. Widgets. We haven't talked about these yet, but widgets are areas on pages that you can populate with information. So right now, in the blog sidebar, all of these widgets show up. A bunch of you submitted your first test, or didn't submit, but we all worked on that first site that was using a different theme, and it said things like search, recent posts, recent comments, categories, meta, right? We saw all those things. That's these, and they're there because we're saying in the sidebar on our blog page, we want all of these widgets. You don't want recent posts, you're probably going to remove it. You don't want recent comments, you're going to remove it. You don't want archives, you're going to remove it. You don't want your categories to show up, remove it. Surely don't want meta. Maybe a search bar is all you want. Maybe you want something different and you go to the add a widget. Look at all of these widgets. There's so many things. There's a calendar. There's an audio. You can put in custom HTML here. You can put in RSS feeds. If you want to add one, this is where you would do it. But I'm just going to clean it up to be just a search bar and say publish. Internet is dying. Really? Yes. Awesome day. I so wish my boss was still here to see this. Good thing Doug's not too scary as things are going amok. Actually, that's good because I like it when they see how technology tortures us in the classroom. I'm not just up here teaching algebra or math that hasn't changed in 700 years or 7,000 years. All right, well, while that's stalling, I'll attempt to show you a few more things. In the footer, what kind of widgets do you want? You might go to the Weather Channel and find a cool weather plugin that they have that requires certain code to populate on your page, and they'll give you that code. You could come in here, and in the footer, you could say, I want to add a widget, and it's going to be custom HTML, And then you would paste whatever code the weather company, weatherchannel.com gave you right here, and their cute little weather widget would populate in your footer because it's working off of code. All right, we'll see what else we can look at with the internet down. Homepage settings. This is another place where you could tweak. Is it a static page? Yes. Or is it a blog type, your latest post? What is the static homepage and what is your post page? Hey, we're back. Theme options. Woo! What is going on now? This theme comes in 2 columns or 1 column. I can switch between the two. Which one do I like? So these are things that you can actually tweak theme by theme, and you're only going to know as you play with the site and figure it out. And then additional CSS. This is like a notepad where you can put in your additional CSS. Looks like something went wrong. So when you tweak it the way you want it or customize it, you can hit publish. If you don't hit publish, none of it happens. If you X out of it or back out of it, none of that customizing actually takes place. So the customizer, adding users are the couple of things I really wanted to hit on right now. Okay, let me find, let's see. I know. All right, let me think. I don't have what I want, but I think I can work around it if the interweb works. Blackboard. Burble. Learning plan. Okay, homework due by noon next Tuesday. Apply what we learned today on one of your websites. So you either have 2 of them or in some cases you have 1. Doesn't matter to me. So I want you to practice, and I'll add the details here. I want you to practice adding some of those different blocks that are more unique, maybe a quote or not text, not heading, not image gallery. Those 4 we've used over and over. So practice adding other blocks. I want you to use the customizer and customize, change it up just a little bit. And then I want you to add, I don't do that. Never mind. You're not going to add me as a user. I would get to, never mind. And then make sure that your menu works. You can navigate to all the pages that you intended to navigate to. And then you're going to do just like you did this week. Just send me, when you're done, send me an email with the URL and say, this is what I practiced. This is what tell me what you customize. So if it's not obvious, I know.
Let me just add it to the one.
Either one. You can add to either one of the sites that you're currently working on, the test one or the second one you made. As long as you practice these things, it's fine by me. Okay. Then, let's see if this works. All right, I did this as democratically as I could, which means it went 1, 2, 3. So this is team 1. This is team 2. This is team 3. This is team 4, and this is team 5. Okay? Find your team. Go sit with your team. One of you, actually nobody needs a computer. You need just each other.
Come on over here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Are we done?
You gonna make a new one?
Somebody can use the round table. I would have a piece of paper or grab some over by the copy machine. Nobody owns paper anymore. Pineapples.
I would always do. I think we're just making that travel site. Is that what it is?
I'll tell you.
Alright.
No need to jump ahead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Katie's sick. Her gone today. Okay.
Katie's the one working with an integrated web.
Pretty sure.
How's it?
Yeah, I need to double check. Okay. This is your team for this next project. The reason that we're working on our first real website as a team is because people feed off each other's ideas and what they figured out. WordPress is all about figuring out how something works. That theme that I'm using for my thing for Yoga with the Goats, which shameless plug, Saturday at 11 o'clock is an event if anybody wants to come do Yoga with the Goats. Sign up online at yogoats.com. That's a hyphen in between yo and goats. Shameless plug. Anyway, when that theme populated, I'm like, what the hell's going on? I click here, it drops me there. It took me a while to think, oh, I get it. Now I know this is considering this to be this section, so I need to go here and customize it. WordPress is all about trial and error and just playing around. So we're going to do this first real site as a team. So what it's going to be is a travel website, but I previously had things predetermined, like you have pulled up. And I decided that A, I don't have enough teams, and then B, you might be more into it if you are doing something that you enjoy. So examples would be, just pull that up, even though it's not entirely accurate. The important part of this is the same for all of you. The goal of this project is to get you ready to create a website from a site map. Remember that? Where you do your flow chart, how you get from page to page, what's a page, what's a post. You'll be using WordPress features that you learn about from week to week. So as we learn more, you're going to be doing more with these sites. So I don't expect a finished site. If somebody says we're done, I'm going to say, we haven't even learned these bajillion things. There's no way you're done. We're just building each week, okay? So each one of you has a client that comes to you and they want a travel website for their business. Their customers can call or email to book a trip. The travel agency will set up activities for the customer for their trip. Your client, the travel agency, would like pages for each destination, a blog page where one of the travelers can post their updates while they're on a trip. So if they book this cruise and they let Jimmy be their guest blogger, Jimmy needs to have access to make blog posts. Do you think Jimmy gets to publish them without them being vetted by them? Probably not. You wouldn't want Jimmy to go off the rails, right? So you would give them a certain role, but you have to allow that ability where somebody else can post blog posts. They want a page that details what's included in the trip. They want page or pages for activities that are done on each trip and somehow incorporate the costs, so wherever you share that. You can design the site any way you'd like. They'd like it done in 5 weeks or faster. So your group is going to be presenting this at the end of 5 weeks, which sounds like a long time, but we have a lot to learn between now and then, okay? So examples in the past have been a travel agency that focused on Europe, one that just did the United States, one that just did cruises, one that just did Africa. In the past, people have focused on just one country, or somebody did, we're just doing Boston. Here's all the different things you can do in Boston, like excursions and trips. So it can be anything, but kind of focus, your travel agency should have one niche market that they're known for. So in your groups, think of something that would be fun for all of you to work on and write down your top 3 choices. And just like we did in Integrated, we'll fight it out for who gets what. Okay? So go ahead and brainstorm I just want to do Caribbean cruises, or I want to do Disney cruises, or I want to specialize in Scotland, or I want to specialize in San Francisco, or whatever. Okay? Brainstorm, figure out what you guys as a group would have the most fun with, And then we're gonna fight it out.
Let's say South Dakota's got